A 7-win team will indeed wind up winning the NFC South this week with the de facto division championship game on Sunday between the 6-8-1 Carolina Panthers and the 6-9 Atlanta Falcons at the Georgia Dome. The Falcons won the first meeting between these two teams 19-17 last month in Charlotte. But right now the Panthers are the hottest team, bringing in a 3-game winning streak to week 17. But in order to win the division title for the second straight year, Cam Newton and the offense are going to need to find a spark. Carolina has only scored more than 20 points twice in their last 9 games. After the wildly competitive season it has been this year for the AFC North, it is only fitting that the division champion will be determined in the final game of the regular season on Sunday night between the Cincinnati Bengals and Pittsburgh Steelers, both of whom have already clinched their postseason spot with wins in Week 16. But the winner gets the division title and a chance to host a playoff game. The Bengals, by way of their Monday night win against Denver, are also still in play for the number 2 seed in the AFC, which would result in a first-round bye. Though both the Packers and the Lions have clinched playoff spots, there are huge stakes for both teams when they meet on Sunday at Lambeau Field, with the winner claiming the NFC North and possibly a first-round bye or even home field advantage, depending on other NFC results. The Lions won the first meeting in this series way back in September and have won 4 straight games heading into the finale. The Packers, meanwhile, have seen their offense take a step back in recent weeks as they've averaged just 16.5 points per game against Buffalo and Tampa Bay. But the Packers have been a different team at Lambeau Field, where they are 7-0 this year. And that's why I see Green Bay winning this game and the division title. Peyton Manning and the Denver Broncos had a chance to wrap up the number 2 seed in the AFC playoffs last week, but they couldn't do it, thanks to a rough game for Manning, who threw 4 interceptions, the most he's had in a single game since 2010, and including 2 in the fourth quarter in their Monday Night Football loss to the Bengals. Manning has now thrown 6 interceptions and just 5 touchdown passes in Denver's last 4 games, and he's struggled against the Bengals both with his decision-making and with his accuracy. He refused to blame those issues on the thigh injury he's been dealing with, the limited practice time last week, or the heavy rain in Cincinnati. But his recent drop-off has to be concerning. The Broncos can still clinch that number 2 seed in a first-round bye on Sunday if they beat the Oakland Raiders at home. But the Broncos right now have some serious issues that they're going to have to address before they host their first playoff game later in January. It's the final week of the MVP race, with 50 voters set to cast their ballots next week. And heading into week 17, there is no clear-cut favorite to win this award. So who needs a big final week to make his case? My top quarterbacks to watch are going to be Aaron Rodgers, who's at home against the Lions as he tries to improve on his 36 touchdown, 5 interception season. New England Patriots quarterback Tom Brady, whose MVP candidacy would get a major boost if he could torch a Bills defense that has shut down Rodgers and Peyton Manning earlier this month. And dark horse candidate Tony Romo, who has thrown 10 touchdown passes and no interceptions in the Dallas Cowboys' 3-game winning streak. But perhaps the most intriguing candidate right now is Texans defensive end J.J. Watt, who is currently second in the NFL in sacks with 17.5, just a half sack behind Justin Houston, to go along with his 5 touchdowns and just overall dominant defensive play. If the Texans are able to somehow sneak into the playoffs with a win against Jacksonville and plenty of help from some other teams, Watt has a legitimate case to be the first defensive player to win the MVP award since 1986.